Lee Min-ho, redefining masculinity? Oh yes, he's on this list. In K-dramas, leading men used to be all toughness and silence. But now, a quiet shift is happening. These 10 Korean actors are changing how we see male leads, not with loud rebellion, but with soft fabrics, emotional depth, and effortless grace. This isn't about labels, it's about presence, energy, and breaking the mold, without saying a word. Remember when Park Seo-joon was the on-screen perfect boyfriend that everyone wanted? Now, he's bringing a fresh perspective to the role of a male lead. No dramatic gestures, no limelight, just steady, sincere, and impactful roles. He started out playing roles we've seen before, charming, romantic, secure. But if you followed him closely over the years, you'll notice something has changed. Park Seo-joon started playing characters that felt layered, men who were confident but not overbearing, assertive but still emotional. In Itaewon Class, he gave us a male lead who listened more than he talked, who showed strength not through force but through empathy. And let's not forget his relationship with Ma Hyun-yi, the transgender chef in the show. There's no special episode moment, no grand speech, just a subtle respect, trust, and equality. In the typically stereotypical landscape of Korean dramas, that silence speaks volumes. Did you notice that? Or was there a moment when you thought, wait, this guy is doing something different? Now let's talk about style. Because if his acting has reshaped the emotional mold, his fashion has gradually reshaped the visual mold. Park Seo-joon is not only well-dressed, he's well-dressed. In a world where male celebrities are still reluctant to ditch tailored black suits and white shirts, he's strutting down the runway in silk blouses, wide-leg pants, sheer fabrics, and high-waisted pants. But the thing is, it's not flashy at all. He doesn't wear these outfits to get attention. He wears them like he just woke up, said, "Yeah, it looks good," and went about his day. Remember that time he showed up at the 2023 Chanel cruise show in Los Angeles? Park stood confidently in a sheer, pearl-embellished shirt, looking like he was in a French fashion campaign, and no one noticed, because he always dresses lightly. He doesn't try to dress like a woman or like a rebel. He dresses like Park Seo-joon. And that's more powerful than any trend. Even his everyday style is a stark contrast. His masculine features softened by loose sweaters or playful prints. Editorials in Gentleman's Quarterly Korea frequently show him bathed in soft lighting, clad in fabrics that blur the line between soft and structured. What's your favorite Park Seo-joon fashion moment? The pearls? The brooches? The elegant silk blouses? There's a reason Park Seo-joon is beloved by so many people. Not just K-drama fans, but also fashionistas, film critics, and yes, those who see themselves in the gray spaces between traditional roles. What makes him stand out isn't that he loudly breaks the mold, but that he does it without drawing attention to himself. There are no ostentatious gestures. There are no public appearance trends. Just consistent, intentional choices, both on screen and off, that quietly push the boundaries of masculinity. Is Park Seo-joon simply staying true to who he is, or quietly expanding what it means to be a leading man today? Let us know in the comments. As always, this is a space for fun, open, and respectful conversations. No matter who you are or where you're from, your perspective is welcome here. Can you imagine a man who can melt your heart with just a smile, then walk into a fashion shoot looking like he just stepped out of a French Renaissance painting? That's Park Hyung-sik. Born with a face that the camera loves and a warmth that the audience can feel, he's made his name not through his big statements, but through his soft power. From his explosive days in K-pop group ZA to his leading roles in hit dramas like Strong Woman Do Bong-soon and Happiness, Park has always stood out, not just for his looks, but for something more subtle. Something you can't put a name to, but you feel when he steps into a scene. Have you ever noticed how he carries himself on screen? The subtle gestures, the expressive eyes, the way he lets his vulnerability shine through without being afraid, that's rare for leading men, especially in Korean drama culture. So let's ask, is there a moment in one of his films that made you stop and wonder, wait, this is different? because for many viewers, it's been a recurring one. If acting is the first, then fashion is the full confession. Park Hyung-sik's clothing choices, both on and off the red carpet, have become a quiet rebellion against traditional masculine norms. Whether he's wearing a silk blouse with puff sleeves, a plum-colored velvet layer, or a tailored suit accessorized with, he never seems to be trying to prove anything. That's the point. In 2022, his image in Marie Claire Korea went viral, not because it was over the top, but because it was graceful, subtle, and yes, quietly captivating. There's something powerful about a man who knows how to wear softness without having to justify it. It's not a costume, it's confidence. In a sea of black suits and conservative styles, Hyung-sik opts for flowing silhouettes. Do you think fashion can challenge perception without having to explain? Park Hyung-sik is not a real man. He plays the emotional center. Whether he's rescuing a maiden or being rescued himself, he always makes room for emotion. In OST number 1, his portrayal of love is not bold or impulsive. It is quiet, painful, and deeply empathetic. He listens more than he speaks. He reacts more than he shows. It is this emotional openness, both in character and in presence, that draws people in. However, he never explains it. He doesn't need to. His fans see it. The press feels it. Even his fellow actors praise his sensitivity on set. And that brings us to the final question. Can Park Hyung-sik redefine masculinity in Korean entertainment without saying a word? We're not here to label anyone, but we are here to celebrate subtlety, and Hyung-sik has plenty of subtlety. We always want this to be a fun, open, and meaningful space for everyone. So let's hear from you. What moments of Park Hyung-sik make you see him differently? Is it the way he acts, the way he dresses, or simply how he makes you feel? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss together. Have you ever watched a movie and found yourself obsessed not only with the plot, but also with a particular actor who seemed quietly yet naturally different from the rest? If you've seen any of Choi Woo-sik's movies, chances are you've experienced that exact feeling. Woo-sik isn't your typical leading man. He doesn't rely on dramatic appearances or flashy drama. Instead, he draws you in with his subtle charm, subtle expressions, and unmissable style. Whether he's navigating tense scenes or simply standing quietly in the background, there's something distinctly appealing about the way he embodies his characters. But tell me, have you noticed it? Can you pinpoint exactly what makes him so compelling? Let's dig a little deeper into why Woo-sik stands out. Many people first learned about him internationally through his groundbreaking film, Parasite, the Korean masterpiece that made history by sweeping the Oscars. Remember the scene where Woo-sik's character, Ki-woo, carefully fakes his college degree to get a tutoring job? He doesn't need flashy gestures to make an impression. His subtle expressions, thoughtful silences, and thoughtful gazes speak louder than any dialogue. But what really makes Woo-sik compelling isn't just his acting, but the way he effortlessly brings authenticity to every scene. Even in real life, Woo-sik exudes a casual confidence. Known for his sophisticated yet unconventional style, he has been featured in fashion magazines such as Gentleman's Quarterly Korea, where he has been praised for breaking the mold. There's no denying that he is comfortable with soft colors, subtle cuts, oversized silhouettes, and flowing designs. He has turned heads in pastel colors and elegant fabrics, choices that are often considered unconventional for Korean male celebrities. However, he wears them so comfortably that they seem less like fashion statements and more like natural expressions of his personality. But isn't that what true style is? The ability to express yourself comfortably and authentically, even when it goes against the grain? Choi Woo-sik doesn't do or make bold statements to make a meaningful impact. His strength lies in his quiet authenticity, his natural comfort in expressing himself freely through acting and fashion. Just by being true to himself, he is quietly reshaping the image and emotions of a male lead today in Korean cinema today, inspiring both audiences and his peers. But let's pause here for a moment. What about you? Have you ever found yourself inspired by his signature style and quiet charm? Do you think he's subtly influencing perceptions of sensitivity in male roles in today's entertainment landscape? Or maybe you're just fascinated by his performances, and that's great too. Whatever your views, feel free to join the conversation. Because beyond storytelling, this space is all about building an open, engaging, and meaningful dialogue together. So don't hesitate. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be here, looking forward to hearing from you. Have you ever met someone whose presence changes the entire energy of a room, not by force, but by quiet confidence? That's Lee Do-hyun. He doesn't need grand statements or flashy gestures to make an impression. One look, one subtle movement, and you're hooked. It's not just star power, it's something deeper, something that lingers. In an industry built on image, Lee Do-hyun challenges the notion of what it means to be a leading man. His fashion choices alone speak volumes. For his shoot for Gentleman's Quarterly Korea, Lee is dressed in soft fabrics, soft color palettes, and prints usually reserved for high-fashion editorials. It's elegant, purposeful, and most importantly, free. Each look tells a quiet story of rebellion against outdated expectations. Do you look at those images and wonder, like many others, if he's conveying a deeper message? But Lee isn't just a fashion icon, he's a transformative actor. His performances have slowly, quietly, reimagining the emotional range of male characters for the new generation of K-drama viewers. In the hit 18 Again, he plays a father rediscovering his youth, bringing a tender image of vulnerability, regret, and resilience. He's not afraid to cry, he's not afraid to soften, and he's not afraid to love, even when it hurts. In The Glory, he brought subtle, emotional intelligence to a complex role, often using silence and stillness more powerfully than dialogue. What sets Lee apart is his ability to express strength through vulnerability, playing characters who are flawed, compassionate, confused, and courageous. He doesn't rely on traditional masculine stereotypes. Instead, he shows that true masculinity can be graceful, emotionally intelligent, and quietly strong. Have you ever watched a scene of his and felt like you were being perceived in an unexpected way? Offstage, Lee Do-hyun continues to defy expectations with his warmth and sincerity. He is known for his shy smile, quick wit, and surprising sense of humor. Fans love him not only for his talent, but also for his approachability and honesty in interviews and behind-the-scenes clips. He communicates openly with fans, sometimes revealing a surprising degree of vulnerability, such as sharing his struggles with self-doubt or talking about the pressure to always appear strong. That sincerity, coupled with his creative choices, has made him a subtle but powerful voice in men dating, contributing to a clearer portrayal of strength and weakness on screen. He's not calling for change, he's living it through every performance, every photo shoot, every gentle smile. And perhaps that's what it's all about. Quiet, profound, and undeniably powerful. So here's a question for you. Do you think Lee Do-hyun is redefining the modern man on screen? We'd love to hear from you. To be honest, when 2521 debuted, not many people expected this quiet boy in a school uniform to become the face of Generation Z's stylish look. But Choi Hyun-wook didn't come out of nowhere. He walked in, looking confident and poised, as if he knew he belonged in the spotlight. His acting? Rough, honest, and heartbreakingly good. But it wasn't just the tears or the powerful roles that surprised people. It was the way he played the contrast. One moment, he was a heartbroken rebel. The next, he was walking into a magazine shoot, wearing sheer fabrics, bold lipstick, and necklaces that looked like they belonged in a Gucci museum. And somehow, he never felt like he was trying. He was just existing. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and everything suddenly changes, like the energy just washes over them? That's Choi Hyun-wook. Not because he's for attention, but because he's bringing a fresh look at confidence in today's media without raising your voice. Did you feel that when you first saw him on screen? Or was it just one of his fashion photos that made you stop scrolling? Honestly, what was your first Choi Hyun-wook moment? Now let's talk about fashion. Because if acting is where Choi Hyun-wook breaks hearts, then fashion is where he breaks all the rules. Whether it's a soft sweater with earrings or an oversized layered jacket that looks like he stepped off the Milan runway, his style is more evident than any interview. Case in point, this photo shoot for Dazed Korea. He wore lace sleeves, a velvet choker, and that signature sleepy look, and the internet stopped. Not everyone got it, but that was the point. He wasn't dressing to impress anyone. He was performing, quietly, confidently, and without fear. And what made it even more compelling, he never explained. No bold statements explaining his fashion choices, just a photo, a look, a moment. And suddenly, young fans began questioning everything they thought they knew about how a leading man should dress or even feel. So let me ask you, do you think fashion can be a form of silent protest? Or is it simply about looking good while feeling free? We'd love to hear your take on his bold look. The thing is, Choi Hyun-wook isn't just an actor on the rise. He's an icon, not in a loud, neon-lit way, but in a whispery, haunting way. Through his roles like the emotionally layered Sunjae in Weak Hero Class 1, he shows us the kind of male character we rarely see. Vulnerable, intense, emotionally open, and yes, stylish. And through his off-screen appearances, he reminds us that softness and strength are not opposites. They grow together. At just 23 years old, Choi Hyun-wook is already pushing the conversation in Korean entertainment in a new direction. No statements, no slogans, just presence, just style, just truth. So we'll leave it to you. What do you think makes someone truly memorable in today's entertainment world? Is it talent, style, courage, or something else entirely? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because we're not just fans here, we're part of the conversation. Honestly, when Lee Jun-young first stepped onto the K-pop scene, no one expected this. He could have easily gone the safe, polished route like everyone else, but he didn't. From the start, there was something a little different about him. A spark, a tilt of the head, a refusal to be contained. Having emerged from his days as a member of U-KISS, Jun-young quickly broke free from the conventional idol label. He started acting, and not just playing it safe. Whether he was taking on dark, emotionally complex roles in dramas like Imitation, or explore beyond conventional expectations of male representation in entertainment through stylized high-fashion editorials, Jun-young became someone you couldn't have predicted. Do you remember the first time you saw a male celebrity wearing a sheer blouse, painted nails, and staring into the camera like he owned the universe? For many fans, that moment was brought by Lee Jun-young. So let's ask this. When did you start seeing style as more than just clothes? When did it start becoming a statement, a rebellion, or perhaps a silent truth? A quick glance at Jun-young's social media will tell you, this man doesn't follow trends. He is them. Whether he's wearing lace or as casually as other guys are wearing sneakers, his style questions fashion conventions with quiet confidence. Think back to his magazine shoots for Harper's Bazaar and Arena Home Plus, where he effortlessly mixed masculine lines with soft, flowing silhouettes. He's shown off dresses, mesh tops, and soft pastels, all with a fierce confidence that makes you stop and wonder, is this just fashion, or is there something deeper? And maybe that's Lee Jun-young's strength. He never explains himself. He lets his images speak for themselves. And here's a fun thought. If you had to pick one outfit from Jun-young's wild wardrobe to wear for a day, what would it be? The pink feathered coat? The floral embroidered suit? Or the infamous lace-on leather outfit that almost took Instagram by storm? Go ahead, pick your warrior. However, it is in his acting that Jun-young truly lets his complexity shine. His characters often sit at the intersection of strength and weakness, boldness and silence. And while he has never made an overt statement about identity, his artistic choices speak volumes. In DP and Love Unleashes, his acting is a fluid emotional nuance that touches the hearts of audiences yearning for deeper expression. He does it for attention, he whispers to those who listen. And somehow his whispers resonate all the more. So now it's your turn. What does Lee Jun-young represent to you? A daring artist? A fashion rebel? A new kind of male lead? Or are you simply someone who is quietly rewriting the script on what it means to exist, create, and be seen in a world still grappling with stereotypes? Whatever your answer, share it below. We're always here to chat. And just between us, would you dare wear that pearl necklace he wore last spring? Be honest. When Lee Jae-wook first appeared on screen in Memories of the Alhambra, he was a supporting character. No big show, no dramatic soundtrack, just a young man with sharp features and an intimidating calm. But there was something about him that made people pay attention. Maybe it was the way he moved, precise but not forced. Maybe it was the way he looked at his co-stars, not with the usual masculine toughness, but with a tenderness that made you wonder what story he was hiding. His breakthrough moment came soon after in Extraordinary You, where he played Baek-kyung, a character built to be cool, but revealed an unexpected emotional pain hidden deep inside. And the audience noticed. His fan base grew not through scandals or over-the-top displays, but through word of mouth. Have you seen that guy? The one who barely says a word but somehow says it all? So, be honest with us. What was Lee Jae-wook's first role that made you pause the screen just to see him? While most rising stars stick to the black suit formula, Lee Jae-wook has quietly rewritten his own fashion rules, and perhaps the industry's. Remember his 2023 Marie Claire Korea cover shoot? Dressed in silk and brocade, with a gaze that balanced fire and ice, he looked like a 21st century prince straight out of a dreamland. Or his AMI Paris look at Seoul Fashion Week, asymmetrical cuts and a sharp black jacket that blurred the line between masculine and theatrical. Unforced, just elegant, just comfortable. Lee's fashion isn't provocative, it's precise. He dresses as if he's in character, fully, honestly, and effortlessly. And in doing so, he challenges the image of the leading man. So the question is, do you think his style opens new doors for young male stars in Korea, or is the industry still catching up to a subtle evolution in images? In Alchemy of Souls, Lee Jae-wook plays Jung-hyun, a character with layers of pain, longing, and restrained rage. But his signature isn't in his spells or swordplay. It's in the way he conveys his pain, through silence. In Do Sol Sol La La Sol, his character once again turns to emotional subtlety. He doesn't need flashy gestures or declarations to express his love. A look, a pause, a tear, that's enough. And perhaps that's what makes him stand out in today's entertainment world. His strength as an actor comes not from dominance, but from vulnerability. He reminding us that emotion and quiet presence are just as powerful as boldness, and beauty in roles that explore complexity rather than cliché. Now ask yourself, do we need more characters like this in dramas? And more importantly, are audiences ready for male leads who are more emotional? Tell us what you think. Which Lee Jae-wook role, look, or interview has changed the way you define a male lead? This isn't just storytelling, it's a conversation. And everyone's voice matters here, so join us. Kim Jung-hyun has never wanted to be the center of attention, but somehow, he always has been. Maybe it's the way he can slip into a scene without needing attention and still be the center of the moment. Long before millions knew his name, Kim quietly studied drama in college, obsessing over character development, facial expressions, physical tension. His classmates remember him not as the loudest person, but as the one who made silence loud. That same energy carried over into his early roles. School 2017, Welcome to Waikiki, where he mastered the art of emotional restraint. His characters never exaggerated. They breathed, they hesitated, they felt real. And just like that, a new kind of leading man was born. Not cold, but quietly complex. Have you ever met someone who said little but made you feel everything? That's Kim Jung-hyun. You don't have to break the rules. Sometimes, all it takes is a soft silk blouse and a knowing look. Kim Jung-hyun's fashion sense, the soft lines, the neutral colors, has attracted more attention than he ever showed in interviews. In 2021, he was seen wearing a white pleated blouse with delicate details that left reporters and stylists in awe. Was it political? Not at all. It was simply genuine. He wore it like his skin. Combined with subtle eye makeup and messy, unstyled hair, he didn't look like a rebel. He looked like someone who refused to perform. It wasn't a costume. It was a wordless statement. Do you think fashion can tell truths that words can't? And it wasn't just his clothes. In Mr. Queen, he played a king caught between tradition and chaos. But what audiences remember most is the tenderness he brought to the role. His performance balanced humor with emotional vulnerability, decades ahead of its time. His interactions with his co-stars broke convention. Playful, lighthearted, sometimes sexy, but never sensationalized. Critics called it progressive. Fans called it refreshing. We called it brave. When was the last time a K-drama king made you laugh and question gender roles at the same time? But Kim Jung-hyun's influence goes far beyond his roles or his red carpet looks. What really makes him so impactful, especially for younger audiences, is the way he keeps room for ambiguity. In a world addicted to labels, he offers us something rare: freedom. He never explains himself. He doesn't define his fashion style, his acting choices, or even his silences. And in doing so, he allows others to be themselves. Teens and young adults across Asia have shared that his presence has helped them embrace the softer sides of themselves, the sides that don't quite fit the mold. After leaving the entertainment industry due to serious health issues and public pressure, many thought his career had peaked. But Jung-hyun came back deeper. His performances since then have felt intimate, more emotionally honest, like someone who has walked through fire and decided to use the smoke as perfume. Have you ever had to disappear only to come back stronger? What did that moment teach you? Because in the end, Kim Jung-hyun reminds us that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in silence, in gentleness, in choosing not to follow the rules and never regretting it. Let's start with a face you recognize and maybe even secretly admire. Park Seo-joon, better known by his stage name Lomon, isn't the type to chase attention with dramatic style or loud statements. He's entered the entertainment world with a calm confidence, a thoughtful gaze, and a quiet resistance to being pigeonholed into any one image. His breakout role in All of Us Are Dead introduced him to a global audience, not just as a rising star, but as a phenomenon. While many were drawn in by the thrill of the plot, those who looked closer saw something else. There's a natural elegance to the way Lomon expresses emotion, subtle, heartfelt, and never over the top. Did you notice that? Or were you so focused on the noise around him that you missed the stillness within? Off-screen, Lomon's public appearances began to draw attention, not for scandal, but for style. While many rising Korean actors favor tailored suits and monochrome safety nets, Lomon incorporates cropped blazers, mesh tops, and other looks typically reserved for magazine shoots or trendy pop idols. Check out his first look Korea shoot. He wears an intricately embroidered silk blouse and smoky eye, posing with a daring grace that keeps you scrolling. Is it just fashion? Or is it a quiet statement of self-expression? Tell us, how do you interpret his evolving look? He doesn't try to be a macho hero or a delicate flower. He simply exists somewhere in between, letting the moment guide him. Does his power lie in his refusal to define it? Have you ever felt pressured to appear stronger or cooler than you really are, just to be accepted? Lomon's performance quietly dissolves that pressure. He shows us that complexity is not only normal, but also attractive. In an age where social media often promotes loud opinions and rigid labels, Lomon's simple presence is a breath of fresh air. He doesn't for attention. Instead, he arouses curiosity. And that has quietly made him a role model, not just for those who identify with his style, but for anyone who is trying to find themselves without having to fit into someone else's mold. Whether through his fluid fashion sense or his multi-layered acting, Lomon is quietly showing what a modern male lead can embody: grace, presence, and depth. Not just in Korea, but globally. Do you think style can be a quiet but powerful way of self-expression? Have you ever admired someone who challenges the norm, not with loudness, but with elegance? And more importantly, do you believe that young actors like Lomon are opening the door to a more relaxed, free-spirited image of masculinity? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your perspective, not just on fashion or fame, but on freedom. Because here, we're not just telling stories. We're building a space where expression is valued. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there watching Lomon strut around in earrings will finally think, hey, maybe I can wear what I want too. From the moment Lee Min-ho appeared on Boys Over Flowers, he became more than an actor. He became a cultural icon. The curly hair, the aloof charm, the long coats that billowed behind him as he walked down the school hallways like an exiled prince. It was unforgettable. But it was also divisive. Some called him a genius. Others said he was too handsome, too gentle, even too formal to be a man. And just like that, Lee Min-ho became the poster boy for a new kind of masculinity in Korean drama. A masculinity that wasn't flashy, but still had a powerful impact that you could feel across Asia. He played characters who were rich, cool, handsome, but there were always cracks inside. And in those cracks, something new crept in. Emotion, restraint, a quiet challenge to every cliched masculine stereotype. And the controversy? He never backs down. He keeps showing up, more polished, more expressive, more himself. But why? Why do we feel uncomfortable when beauty and tenderness are present in such a powerful masculine figure? Have you ever admired someone but hesitated to admit it because they were too different, too graceful, or didn't fit the mold? Lee Min-ho's red carpet looks aren't random, they're statements. Sharp monochromes, dramatic silhouettes, silk, velvet, florals. There's a soft elegance to the way he combines classic silhouettes with soft, unexpected details, like that cloud suit. In an industry that often values roughness, he dares to embrace romance. Unpretentious, simply elegant. And ironically, that's controversial. Some critics say he plays it safe, but look closer. His choices whisper louder than most. When he wore a lavender jacket over a minimalist black turtleneck in a major brand campaign, fans around the world created a hashtag comparing him to both royalty and runway models. It's not just fashion, it's framing. He's telling us his style transcends trends. Expression can be elegant, individual, and powerful. Expression knows no boundaries. And sometimes a man in soft pastels can make a dozen powerful statements about equality. Now tell me this. When you see a male celebrity dressed smartly and elegantly, do you think it's brave or calculating? And either way, why are we still arguing about it in 2025? The most powerful thing Lee Min-ho has ever done is probably not a role, a photo shoot, or a fashion statement. It's that he has never apologized for who he is. He's faced years of rumors, criticism, and doubt about his style, about his gentleness, even about his silence. But through it all, he stood still. He didn't explain. And today, a new generation of artists, both male and female, look to him as an inspiration. Not because he told them who to be, but because he showed them that they can be all things, handsome, gentle, strong, emotional, without having to settle for just one. And one last question before we wrap up video. Are the most controversial people simply the ones brave enough to exist without permission? Think about it. And if anyone has ever made you feel seen for who they really are, please share it with us below. Because this isn't just Lee Min-ho's story, it's your story too. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and check out more great stories right here on our channel. We love hearing from you, so leave a comment, share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next video.